Hi, I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to the Let's Keep Moving with Risha podcast. This is Risha. I'm a motivational speaker, content creator, and I love talking about things that will help you keep moving in your life, especially on areas like your life, mental health, love, growth, and everything in between. So if you're ready, let's keep moving. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So if you're new here, thank you for clicking this episode. And if you're already listening to my previous episodes, thank you so much for still looking forward to this episode every week. Thank you, thank you. My heart is really happy because I get to do this work, and I so love being in this element of being able to prepare myself and sit on a video and spend time with you. So, not everybody knows that the boom of this podcast, or like parang super nag-fasten yung progress ng mga streams, or bumilis talaga yung pagtaas ng streams because of this one episode. Kaya I thought of having a part 2 or some additional tips pa. And that episode was how to stop people pleasing, which was way, parang way last year pa yata. And that episode was so cringy, I can't even watch it. Kasi I do not have a background like this. And yung light ko, cellphone ko pa. Pero I already have a camera at that time. Tapos, as in, bigla ko na-realize habang nag-edit ako na I look so bad. Kasi super harsh ng light and super dark ng background. So like parang basang weird. But it turns out to be like the most streamed episode that I have here on the podcast. And isn't it cool that sometimes the worst produced work or art could be the best, could be something that would be best appreciated by other people. So, yun lang. Siguro before we start this episode, just a quick reminder that, look at that. Diba? You don't even have to put something so perfectly out there. I mentioned that in our previous episode. You don't have to make everything perfect. You just have to make it exist first before you make something perfect. The work will reveal itself as you go. You can improve along the way. But right now, focus on putting it out there first. Focus on making it exist first. And then, tweak ka na lang soon or later. But I guess, somehow related pa din siya sa episode natin today. Which is yun nga, people pleasing. I think even by sharing that lessons with everybody, I still struggle with it. I think that's part of my life. There would be certain areas pa din ng buhay ko na baka people please ako. And I think it's because of this thin line of wanting to be perceived good or better by other people, wanting to fit in. And there's also this part of, if ayaw nila sa akin, okay, di ayaw nila sa akin. But somehow, you've got to balance it. Kasi minsan, the extent of it or the extreme end of it is like, okay, kung wala kayong pake sa akin, di wag. I'll do whatever I want. But what if what you're doing is already wrong? What if you're doing is already, is not normal? And maybe what the people around you are telling you is actually correct. So, it's a balance of everything. It's a balance of listening to other people, knowing that they're good for you. And it's also a balance of listening to your core and knowing when it is enough to listen to other people. Because it's important to build boundaries, diba? But yeah, I guess the thing that I'm going to talk about today is how do you stop people pleasing? And what are the uncommon tips on how we can stop people pleasing? Kasi ang focus ko last episode is about recognizing it. Why do you people please? And then, taking little steps. But right now, I really wanted to focus on tips, on conversations that would help you. So, if you are curious to know what those tips are, knowing that it's uncommon, then without further ado, let's keep moving. Let's get started with the first one, and that is create a pause rule before saying yes. It's a pause rule. People pleasers kasi say yes way too fast. Allow me to repeat that. People pleasers say yes way too fast. And if you're this type of person, then this tip will work for you. Create a pause rule before saying yes instantly. So if someone asks for something, and before we even think, we're already saying yes, no? Of course, sige. San yan? Ano kailangan mo? Ano, ganyan. Tulungan kita, ganyan. And if you want the fix here, make it a rule that you never commit to saying yes instantly, to saying a decision on the spot. Instead, you can start saying na, let me check my schedule muna ha, and then I'll get back to you. Let me check my schedule muna ha, and let me get back to you. I need a little time to think about it. Oh, that's a great idea. Sige, pag-isipan ko. This gives you space to decide if you actually want to do it or not. Or if you're just, agreeing out of guilt. Or if you're just, saying yes because you feel compelled to do so. Di ba may mga ganun tayong moments na parang pagkausap natin yung ibang tao, sige, para matapos na tong usapan na to, yes, sige, okay, sige, punta ka dyan. And then, wala ka na lang idea, nagulat ka na lang, you felt compelled to attend. You felt compelled to do that job. Why? Because you said yes. And it's harder, diba, to say no once you already said yes. Kasi, for example, naka-yes ka na sa taong yan. Tapos nung humingi na siya ng tulong, you can just say no kasi nag-yes ka nga eh. Parang, out of integrity, you would want to keep your word. Because you said first that yes, na kailangan niya, 'di ba? So, example, if your coworker says na, hey, can you cover my shift? Hey, can you do this for me? I'll be out next week. Pwede bang ikaw mag-cover nito for me? Instead of instantly saying yes, kahit alam mo pagod ka na, kahit alam mo na you don't have enough container for that, say na, let me think about it. I'll let you know in an hour. And mind you, even in just 10 minutes, makakapag-no kayo dyan. Diba? I'm smiling because these tips na na-search ko din that worked could actually work in my life because I keep saying yes instantly. And this pause really helps you break that automatic yes habit. So if you're struggling na yes na lang ng yes, then this tip might work. The next thing is, I want to make this as smooth as possible kasi medyo madami to today. Pero when I realize it's really going to be helpful for you. But the next is, yun nga, create a pause rule first. Second is start small by means of saying no to low stake things first. So what does this mean? Saying no right away feels terrifying at first, diba? You can just simply say na, no, ayoko. So, if you're struggling with creating a pause rule because they badly needed the decision, kung makakatulong ka ba, kung makakapag-cover ka ba ng shift, kung magagawa mo ba to or what, if you get to have that kind of guilt, then this tip will work for you. Na, say no to low stakes things first. Start with small, everyday moments where the stakes are low. You can start practicing it in your life. It could be, and I can so relate to this, it is say no to upselling at a store. So, di ba? I just noticed this kasi for the past week, I've been drinking a lot of caffeine. Like, I know I quit caffeine for the reason that I'm getting palpitations, like severe palpitations. Pero nung nawala na siya, I started drinking. I just make sure I do not drink with an empty stomach. So, nawawala yung palpitation. So, good thing. But what I notice is, I know that I should lessen my caffeine intake. Pero kapag tinatanong na ako ng barista na, Ma'am, upsell na ba natin? I was like, yes, upsell na natin. And it's not like you're related to this barista or what. It's just sometimes it's a root cause of people-pleasing attitude that you get to say, sige po. Sige po, 20 lang naman. Sige po. Okay po. Well, in fact, it's okay to say, not today, thanks. Hindi na po. I'll stick with 16 ounce. Because most of the time, I always say yes to like 22 ounce. And that 6 ounce is a huge difference. And sometimes, pag nandun ka na, ang hirap mag-no, diba? Like, automatically, sige po. Sige po. But, yun nga, like what I said, it's not like you're related or like you would disappoint this person if you say no, but you could practice saying no to low-stake things before saying no to bigger things, to other people close to you. For example, then, saying no when someone wants to switch seats with you. I remember, kasi, madalas kasi sa terminal ako sumakay before, which is sa bus. Pero, I find it very convenient if sa van na lang, which is like, mas malapit dun sa school ko and sa tinitirhan ko din. Tsaka mas mabilis siya. Kasi kapag sa bus, ang daming tigil. And, there was this time that I was already sitting at a very comfortable seat because I don't want dun sa pangalawa kasi madalas ikaw yung kapag may lalabas sa likod, ikaw yung nag-a-adjust. And it so happened that yung dispatcher dun, ang ganda na ng upo ko and I know that for the next 30 to 45 minutes, maganda yung tulog ko. Pinalipat niya kami. And because I just shrugged it off, sabi ko, I just don't wanna make a commotion ng arte ko. Ayoko makipaglipat ng upuan. But, who am I hurting? No one. I could have just simply said na, kuya, dito na lang po ako. Okay na po ako dito. Kasi, minessage ko si Jurin at that time. Sabi ko, baby, nilipat ako dun sa upuan na paalis-alis kapag may bababa or may bababa sa likod. Ako yung mag-a-adjust. So, kung may 4 na bababa sa likod at 4 na beses magbubukas ang pintuan, 4 na beses akong bababa din at tataas. And I didn't say a thing. I just said, wala, okay, bumaba na lang ako kasi inutusan ako. When it was easier, like low stake, wala akong masasaktan tao. Like, walang masyadong damage if I just said no. And yun lang. It's a little thing, but it spoke volume to me because sinangkalan ko. Do you guys know that term, sinangkalan? Or kinompensate ko yung comfort ko just because I don't want to disappoint the people around me. Do you get it? Or do you have moments like that na pwede namang mag-no, diba? Pwede namang sabihin na I'm comfortable here. I'll just be here. Dito na lang ako, kuya. Pero dahil people pleaser ako, I didn't say a thing. I bit. I said, yes, okay, dito po ako. For as long as I have a seat. Well, in fact, it shouldn't be that way. We can tell that nicely and with respect. And it's not like I was aggressive kapag nag-no ako. No, it's the simplest thing. So, I remember at that time, I promised myself na next time, I'll stick with my seat. Nauna ako eh. It's a little thing. But, sometimes, when you get to experience that, you get to realize na, if I get to do this here, kaya ko din siyang gawin with bigger things. And that's the point of this. If you struggle with confrontation, you can practice talaga declining non-emotional requests first. That situation, that couple of situation I told you, it was non-emotional. Like, I'm not hurting anyone, diba? So this strengthens your no next time or your no muscle so that when bigger moments come, it's easier for you to stand on your ground because you get to build that foundation. Next is, and it's the soft exits to ease with guilt. So we have the first one, it's the pause rule. And then the second is saying no to low stakes. And the third is use soft exits to ease guilt. You're not completely turning this person down or disappointing this person. It's not like, no, I won't help you, do not bother me forever. Hindi ganon. But you can say or use soft exits to ease with guilt. Often the hardest part of people pleasing is that the guilt that follows when you say no. You can consider yourself as a bad person for not letting that slide, but you can ease that by using a soft exit and a way to decline without feeling like you're letting someone down completely. So it's like, instead of saying, no, I can't help you, you can start or try saying, I can't help this time, but I'd love to another day. Hindi ako makakapunta ngayon, pero next time, let me know. I could consider. I won't be able to help you today, but maybe there's another chance or another opportunity to help you on the next days to come. Or here's another resource that might help you. Ito yung ginawa ko before. It's soft exit. No, not much commitment because you said no to the offer, but you still offered help. A delayed help. Soon in the future, letting this person know na, okay, he did not turn me down completely or said no to me completely. Maybe he was just busy at that time. And I understand it. And maybe that means na I can count on him or on her next time. It's not a complete no. And when I realized this, oh nga no, it's not like completely cutting this person off. It's negotiating and it's leading the conversation. Diba? It's still setting a boundary, but in a way that feels good for both of you. Walang, it's not based or it's not anchored in hostility. It's more of, okay, how can I make this good for both of us? So I can still get what I want, and at the same time, I am not bringing another person down or I'm not being hostile. So yeah, it's a win-win. And mind you, they're more than willing to really, really follow what you said or follow your rules. By the way, if you are currently enjoying the podcast and gaining knowledge and information, then I truly appreciate it if you can give this episode a 5-star rating, because in that way we get to bring more people to here in the community. And of course, it's easier for us. It's gonna be so inspiring on my end to continue delivering meaningful content. So we talked about the pause rule. The second is saying no to low stakes events or situations. And then third is soft exits. The next thing is remind yourself that not everyone needs an explanation. I think that's the general and obvious reason of having that people-pleasing attitude. We think that we're entitled to explain everything to everyone. No. People pleasers tend to over-explain their boundaries because they feel guilty. But guess what? You don't owe any reason to anyone. And stop saying, I can't because I have this, kasi may meeting ako bukas, tapos mag-exercise pa ako bukas, tapos parang pag ginawa ko to, hindi na ako makakagawa nito, but maybe next time ganito gawin natin, ganyan. Instead, say, I won't be able to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I won't be able to come. But if you want to go, go. That's it. If someone invites you to a party you don't want to attend, ayaw mong pumunta, you don't have to make a huge excuse. You don't have to make a huge excuse that it's your sister's birthday or sister's party or there's this event and that. Just so you have a valid reason not to go. You can just say, I don't want to go. I have other important things to do. That's it. Parang, do not overcomplicate. Stop putting so much burden on yourself just because you feel like there's a responsibility on your end to over-explain. No. Especially if it's little things, diba? Thanks for the invite. I'll have to pass this time. But I hope you all have fun. No excuse. Wala ding guilt, and it's just a graceful coincidence that I don't want to go. I'm not feeling good today. I don't feel comfortable attending. It's up to you. But make sure, palagi ko sasabihin, every time you say no, please say it with respect. Say it with grace. Okay? Say it with so much respect and grace. I don't want you to feel entitled that just because you don't owe anyone an explanation, it doesn't give you the right to say it with no respect and no courtesy. You can do the same thing. And please, I encourage everyone to do that. You don't have to be hostile, okay? The last is reframe your no as a gift to yourself. I know I've talked about this a lot of times back in the past, but with respect and on certain grounds of people pleasing, every time you say yes to something that you don't want to do, you are actually saying no to your own needs. Saying no is not selfish, it is self-respect. Saying no to others is a yes to yourself. Saying no to that party is a yes to yourself because maybe you don't want to drink and you don't want to put yourself in situations where you are obliged to drink. Saying no to a friend gathering because you have a marathon coming or a half marathon coming and you have to train. Saying no to someone because you'd like to spend your night sleeping because it's been a hell of a week for you is okay. Focus on what's important right at this moment. I don't want you to feel like you're missing out just because you're saying no to other things, because you have no idea how saying no to other people could mean saying yes to your own needs. And just like what I said, for example, you're exhausted and someone asks for your help, instead of feeling bad or declining, remind yourself na by saying no to them, I'm saying yes to my rest. And sleep is so important, diba? And I deserve that. I deserve sleep. I don't even have to work for that. I deserve that even from the very beginning. And that's what I want you to understand. If you struggle with people pleasing, here is your reminder. Your time, your energy, and your peace matter too. You don't have to be available for everyone all the time. Like you don't have to. And you don't even have to explain yourself. You don't have to make excuses. And most importantly, you don't have to feel guilty for protecting your own well-being, your own dreams, your own plans, and your own priorities. And the next time you feel pressure to say yes, pause and ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go to that party? Do I really wanted to attend that event? Do I really wanted to go with them? Do I really want to do that for him or for her? And if the answer is no, honor that. Like, really honor that. And if someone invites you to a party or to whatever that event is, stop making huge excuse. like what I told you, just to make the other person feel better. Because sometimes you're the one that's not feeling better at the end of the conversation. Because remember, you deserve boundaries too. And you don't want to be available to everyone and end up saying that you neglected your own well being, you neglected your own needs. You allowed these people to treat you that way. So, if you don't want that to happen, then this might be helpful for you. Build boundaries. Don't say yes instantly. Negotiate. And do not feel guilty for choosing you, because you only have you. That's about it, everybody. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope this episode spoke to you. Sa mga people pleasers din dyan, I hope you learned something. It's so hard to do this all instantly in one go, but it's a process, and it's a process worth doing. Kasi sometimes when I do people pleasing, and because of this self-awareness, I get to realize na pagkatapos ng situation na yon or ng circumstance na yon, I was like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? People pleasers, ganyan. But you learn from it, and I think that's fun, and you get to apply the lessons next time. And I hope you learned something. I'd love to know your thoughts. Tell us the most crazy thing you did because of people pleasing. Because you don't want to disappoint others. Like, what's the craziest thing you did? And for the poll, are you a people pleaser? Yes, kinda, or no? Not at all. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend whom you think is a people pleaser. Joke lang. But share it with a friend whom you think would benefit from what I talked about today and from what we talked about today. And you can also share your favorite takeaways on social media. And please don't forget to tag me, because I love reading your messages. I love sharing your stories. And it's fun that I get to have, it's an honor palagi to serve you, to spend time with you, and to have this conversation with you. And I'm grateful. Thank you so much. And again, this has been your friend and your host, Risha. Know that I am grateful for you. I've always been, and I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you big time. And of course, I'll see you soon. And until then, don't forget to always keep moving. Bye.